Hi, everybody. It's Tyler here, checking in with team number 6800 Valor at Championship. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Texas champions. Congratulations on that. And looking really good here at the World Championship as well, too. They have an incredible climber system. I love great funnel systems, and they're able to just pick up, score, and just super fast, effective cycles they've been able to do. So I can't wait to dive more into everything in this robot, some of their software systems you'll be looking at. Let's learn more about them coming up here on Behind the Bumpers. Raybo, let's start talking about your robot here with your chassis as well. Overall, well constructed for that. I know we'll be diving more into your elevator as well too. Talk to me more about it.
So going into the season, we knew we wanted to have a very large chassis because from previous experience, we learned that a small chassis would be too tippy. So we went for like a low center of gravity. So our 28 by 28 inch chassis features a Swerve X2T system with four swerve motors and 4 azimuth motors. We have 4 2x2 chassis rails with a 1/2 inch hole pattern, allowing us to super easily mount all of our subsystems and have ample internal space for all of our mechanisms. So underneath the robot, all of our electrical stuff is mounted to ensure low center of gravity. All of our wires are wrapped in cable wrap. So this prevents electrical damage that we've had in the past years, as well as our battery is mounted underneath the robot to ensure a very low center of gravity, so we aren't tippy on the field.
Very cool. And let's talk to me more about this elevator system. I'm just watching you score. So quick, so effective, and great positioning and control as well too. Tell me more about it.
So we actually have a three-stage cascade elevator, which means all stages move up simultaneously. Each stage is 28 inches, and it extends to a total of 7 feet. If Mal wants to demonstrate our L4. If you noticed, each stage has a foot of overlap during full extension because we want to be rigid on the field. So when we're fully extending to score, we don't want to be tipping over, so the overlap helps with rigidity. Our first stage features a chain because it has 3 times the amount of torque, but our second and third stages have a 1/8 diameter Dyneema cable, so it's capable of lifting 450 pounds. We have 1x1 tubes on the side of each stage to increase rigidity. Our stow to full extension time decreased from 1.5 seconds at our week 1 competition to 0.8 seconds. So that's almost a 50% decrease.
Yeah, overall, like I said, just watching you go out the field, it's been great. Have you made any major modifications to your elevator, like improve like into DCMP or beyond?
After our week 1, we realized that we really needed to be more rigid. So that's the addition of these tubes.
Gotcha.
And something we did before our Worlds was pre-stretch all of our Dyneema, so we wouldn't have any stretching or slipping during our competition.
Yeah, really smart thing to do with the Dyneema cable for sure with that. Let's pass over to Magnus and talk more about, you mentioned walking into scoring, great opportunity to talk more about your scoring systems and the intake as well too. So walk me through it a bit more, Magnus.
So I'm the designer of the score mech. At the start of the season, we didn't want to over scope. We didn't want to make an overcomplicated robot, and we wanted to be able to go fast in the reef. So we opted for not doing an arm so that we could just rely on the rigidity of our elevator and not have like more room for error. And we wanted to reduce the amount of motors that we had up high so that we could once again just increase our rigidity, go in and out of the reef as fast as possible. So we wanted to opt for just a single motor on our score mechanism. So this same roller that powers the coral also powers the algae. The algae mech that we had on here was just a passive one too, so it actually just flip out, reacting against the chassis, so we could just save weight. However, going into Worlds, we realized after looking at match strategies that you needed some form of ground intake to be successful. So, and for us mainly, the easiest option to add or to prioritize was algae. So we made it a requirement for us at Worlds to be able to pick up algae. So we have an OP-inspired style of claw that allows us to be able to pick up algae off the ground here. So this allows us to work really well with our alliance partners. So even if we're a little bit, so we don't have to be as fast at pumping out coral, because we can instead go through get a good auto, or get our 4-piece auto, get algae, score up high. Also, due to how high our elevator is able to extend, we're able to place the algae in really easily without having to worry about it bouncing out. So we can just stack it and completely fill it. This mechanism here also doubles as an indexer too. So when we go back, it also indexes the coral, which is shown in a sec, and it works for L1. So we actually can get that ground intake for a coral on L1. So whenever we're done filling out algae on the reef, we can go back and keep cycling L1s to help our lines out. Mal, can you show coral process? One thing that's really unique about how we did this, we use 0.1 SRPP, 0.1 inch SRPP for all of this, and usually that'd be a really big issue, and especially if you use polycarbonate, would be a really big issue with rigidity and center distance on belts, where it'd be really floppy. However, even though it's not, we haven't seen many teams try it, but we bent the SRPP so we could actually have that rigidity. You can see here, this is really solid, even on the arm when it's fully extended. It does not move much. It has a little bit of twist, but that more so just helps with, it actually is a benefit for our case because it's sticking out of the robot, so the flexibility there helps out. Going over to our human player, we made it power just to increase consistency in autos and allows us to do super cycles, so we just have more options on the field.
One of the things I want to ask you, looking from the ground intake game for your algae and stuff too,
Yeah.
how has that evolved from like even DCMP coming here to champs for your game strategy overall?
With the algae mainly, in alliances, there's usually like one robot that's cleans up the algae on the side of the field and one that does coral. At states, we were the coral bot and Robochargers was the algae. That was what ultimately let us win states by doing the algae strategy. And we realized that we were not able to get that full ground intake on in time to do a full robot rebuild. So we instead opted for just doing the algae, and then also just by working around with the geometries, doing the L1 allows us to also help out towards the end of the game, so we could still be putting out large numbers when it comes to elims specifically,
Yeah.
and we still could score coral the same way we were at states, so we don't lose that reliability. We don't take steps back, and we're still able to keep all of our same code, software, and tuning, and driver practice for all of it.
Yeah, as we're filming, it's still pretty early in champs, but your team's been doing a phenomenal job at that as well. Let's pass over to Gabby to talk about your climber mech on it. Hey, Gabby, when you and I were talking earlier, this is something that you've been extremely proud of throughout the entire season you put together. Walk me through what you have.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the season, we knew that we were absolutely going to need a deep climb to keep up with the competition. However, with our very first competition, we used a one-way lash mechanism, which took about 20 seconds for driver lineup, and we definitely realized by the end of that competition that was not going to be an option for future competitions. So we decided to iterate and use this design instead. Here we have a 16th-inch long Spline XL and a 4.5-inch long Spline XL, where the cage can literally fall on. We slide right in, and it will go immediately into our robot, allowing us to climb up. And this has decreased our driver lineup time to have us be able to climb in under 5 seconds. Additionally, we changed from a rotary mechanism to a linear mechanism featuring a Dyneema cable, as you can see here. And we also reduced from having 2 X60 motors to 1 Kraken X44, which is down there, which reduced our overall weight by a whole 4 pounds. And with the Dyneema cable, we can now lift up to 233 pounds. And a major advantage of switching from a rotary mechanism to a linear mechanism was increasing the radius which we pulled from, which increased the amount of power that we could pull from. So yeah.
What point in the season did you make that change?
We made that right after our first competition.
Oh, wow. Okay. So obviously all the way through DCMP, this has been rocking it for you so
Yes.
far. Really cool to see with that. Do you want to demo it? Let's take a look. Sure. Love it so far. Let's pass it over to Mao now and talk more about the software on this robot here. I know we got a few things we'll be showing on screen as well too, but 6800 has been doing such a great job in terms of all their automation processes here. Walk me through some of them.
Yeah, so
the first part I'm going to go through is our vision system. We have 2 limelight 4s on the front of the bot. This allows us to have a constant feed of the April tags no matter which branch we align to. Even if our score blocks the way, we still get the accurate feed. And then on the sides of the cameras, you can see that we have 2 LiDAR sensors. These are our can ranges. This allows us to get accurate data from how far we are from the reef, which leads into our auto line function. This automatic procedure allows us to go at a faster speed while aligning to the reef, and allows us to always hit our shots. Now, following that, our auto align uses 3 PID controllers. These PID controllers can be shown here, in which this is a program developed by one of our rookie members, Ishan, where you can see that if we zoom in here, this auto line, the X PID controller brings it in such that it's centered towards the reef, and then the Y does the final, and then the X does the final pushback going towards the reef.
Cool, 6,800. By the way, congratulations on a great year so far and everything you've done for this. We can't wait to see your continued performance here at Worlds as well too. So thank you so much for taking the time, and best of luck throughout the rest of the way through your division and hopefully down as well too. Thanks everybody.